Yo, what's up guys, balik lagi bersama gue Reza Purnomo. Dan kali ini kita akan bermain game Genshin Impact dan akan menyelesaikan quest Archon bagian 2 teman-teman. Dan kemarin sekitar 3,5 jam bagian 1, sekarang lanjut di bagian 2. Dan by the way jangan lupa untuk MC-nya bisa menggunakan mau record apa itu ya, live streaming ya?
Traveler? Hey, why are you? Hang on. Hey.
Iya, aslinya dibikin live streaming sama konten ya.
Come on, wake up.
Tapi konten aja nggak apa-apa lah, bodo amat. Ya, let's go. Oh, Saat.
Vache, are you my dear Vache?
Oh, dia nyari Vache Archon, tapi jadi Saat.
You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache?
Cintaku di mana?
Where my love is? Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
Dia tidak tahu dirinya sendiri, teman-teman.
They have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered.
Gila, pecah berkeping-keping, cuy.
How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who has lost their form.
Wow.
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water. And then I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how, but now we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting, I never knew how heavy it could be. No, our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, if only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, is that what you call it? Dissolving.
Pembebasan.
It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time. I think I hear your companion. Farewell then.
Wow. Ya, dia sama apa, Cok, gitu, Cok? Wow. Nah, ayo gelut. Kita suka gelut, teman-teman. Tapi robotnya siapa, teman-teman? Wow, Dendro ya. Wah, keren nih, teman-teman. Wow, banyak sekali. Minggir. Set. Nih, gua kasih tahu nih, pedang level 3.
It's a whole army of Gardamex.
Ger, gua kasih tahu. Fire. Oh, teman kita, Cok. Chlorine. Satu doang. Ya, kalau elektro itu sok-sok sangar anjir. Kayak Raiden, dia sosok sadis, sok sinis gitu. Tuh kan, sok santuy anjir. Anjir, gue belum show up nih, udah dihabisin duluan teman-teman. Pistol, cuk. Wow. GG, ini gue suka cuk karakternya. Semoga bintang 4 terus sangar gitu loh. Wede. Oh ini Claymore. Oh no, satunya pedang ya. Blitz. Kayak gini aja susah. Iya dia kayak gitu, kayak siapa Chino juga sok-sok gitu loh teman.
But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called
Menguntit,
stalking.
Mr. Kalmus's
betul.
last wish was for me to
Keren ini,
ensure
anjir.
your safety, and I will not betray his.
Do not speak.
Sorry, demoiselle.
Emang kayak Raiden kan songong teman-teman. Visil doang ya beda ya.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an...
Sorry,
Whatever. What else do
Oh
you know?
bangsawan, gue lupa
I
cok.
know much more than you, but I believe your performance tonight will almost certainly.
I'm sure they've and what about these Gardamex? I thought only
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment. I can only conclude that some.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league?
Yes. Be careful.
I will continue investigating. Regardless.
I do not think that they'll strike again.
Oke, yuk.
Right. I suppose that's the best news.
Demoiselle, I believe...
Oh ini
that
sama yang
Miss
kita
Clorand
yang
was
nolong
being
kita kemarin ya.
I know, I just... She's...
Navia.
Oh, thank goodness! I thought we were those Gardamex.
Padahal kita belum mengeluarkan loh.
And there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too. We got lucky there. Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell
Oh ini
meal we
Geo
had back
cuk.
there.
Dia pakai
Not for me,
Claymore ya.
anyway. In truth,
Ya kayak
I hope
Nole
that
ya
as
sama
such,
aja
we're still
cuk.
partners. There's no need to thank.
It
Kalau
won't
bintang
take
5 oke lah.
50 years.
If it were me,
DPS
I would
ningguang
have
doang
joined
ya
the
sama
Spina di
itu.
Rosula.
Tapi gue udah punya semua. Skip kayaknya.
How did you know that we were in? Well, to be honest,
Gue Archon airnya aja.
yes. All thanks to
I
you
like
grabbing my
Archon.
drink by mistake. After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases that the Fanta tasted kind of salt. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So the Fanta had been spiked with... Yes. So if you hadn't...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of...
Really? I sent people to Hotel Debord to investigate. But that's when I figured out that you might... What? Why would they go after us too? All we did was... Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial? Well,
Iya, betul.
can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it... That doesn't
Iya,
sound
betul.
like too much of a bad thing, to be honest. New intel? Well, let's hear it, shall we?
Dia nggak ngomong anjir.
Oh, that...
Yo ilah, gimana gak penting? Penting
Marcel.
banget cuy.
That name doesn't ring a bell. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least but he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate. Oh, you mean you... Well, you did say that our farewell meal... And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let the...
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are...
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can...
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely...
Nggak jelas anjir pakai apa? Pakai kacamata, cok. Pergi ke markas, gas. Wah, jauh banget, teman-teman. Dari mana ini? Dari sini ya? Di situ ada quest dunia kok kelihatan ya, aneh. Yuk kita OTW, teman-teman. 124. Lah, kok panggil lift? Males banget, Cok. Wow.
It's right up ahead. But let's make...
I've been keeping watch, demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone.
Very good. But let's...
I shall find rooms for our respect.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, traveler.
Ya ampun, jauh banget. Sama aja sih. Tapi ke bawah, Cuk, dia. Ke underground, cuy. Caranya ke sono gimana? Underground tuh. Lewat lift kah? Iya, itu underground, cuy. Caranya gimana? Oh, ini nih kayaknya. Apa ikutin ini aja ya? Iya, kayaknya ke tempat tadi, teman-teman. Oh, ke sini. Wow. Oh, dibukain, teman-teman. Wait. Banyak lampu menyala. Potato. Wow. Anjir, kita nginep di bawah tanah, cuy, serius. Seriously. Ada. Tapi NPC ya. Ada 2, cuk. Tapi airnya enggak. Ada bocilnya sampai sini, cok. Cil. Kok lu di sini? Anjir, ini ngeri banget, cok. Ada sesuatu di bawah kota ya. Ini di atas, temen, kampret. Teleportnya di atas. Nah, kali ini di bawah, sip. Jadi biar teman-teman tahu juga ya. Wes. Wow. The real, keren banget, teman-teman. Kok bisa ya? Di bawah kota tuh, cok. Di bawah air loh, ada kota, teman-teman. Udah kayak Water 7. Ini apa ini? Wow. Dapat buku, cuy, lumayan, cuy. Beli buku dulu nggak sih? Oh, pengacara nggak jadi. Gua kira buku. Lobak. Berarti dapat buku lumayan ya. Ya, gas. Hello, cuk.
So, this is
Your accommodations have been arranged.
Well, our funds, after all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteers.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone.
To be honest,
Your father.
Ya, dia sosok traktir kita, cok.
Mademoiselle, if
Tapi nggak apa-apa.
you'll allow me.
and no. My father's name is Callus. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a...
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. At the time, I believed that if he only... But strangely, that even after being seriously injured, 3 years later, how could he protect his honor? If the closest piece of info I have is that my father...
So that's why you're so...
That's right. I've also however, I believe I must know what really happened. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died, and now, here I am investigating his death.
Demoiselle, please. If there is anything I could...
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our...
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall in...
But how could... never mind.
There is one other...
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as... Yeah, that's not the...
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the... She knew Master Callus beforehand, and there was only ever...
It's not that I...
Don't worry, Navia.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us, yes, that is our...
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed... All right, anyway, that's the information. Thanks. You...
Yeah.
Please, relax and get some sleep.
Oke, yuk. Ya, kita nggak masuk, nggak estetik anjir. Nggak detail, tapi nggak apa-apa.
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina di Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get...
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vash...
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't...
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from it. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder...
Does that mean we're...
No. There is one ray, and that is the archives kept by Chief Justice. If the Ocean that you met is one of the young women who went missing...
So Nervalette maintains an arc? In that case, let's go talk to him.
No, it's nothing.
Oke. Next. Pergi ke kantor hakim di mana tuh? Kita jalan kaki atau teleport aja ya? Karena jauh. Hehe. Gas.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Ya masuknya beda cu. Wow.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently out. This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make
Betul.
See? They've got great discipline too.
Yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're...
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice...
Thanks so much.
Resmi, kita resmi kok anjir. Resmi dari mana, Cok? Anjir, bocil mana kelihatan gitu. Lah, tok.
Please come in.
Nah, gitu dong. Pintunya keren, anjir. Nah, ini keren nih karakter Hakim Agung.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalette. We only like to get in
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of...
so you're not Matt?
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the...
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I...
Oh, dia punya berkas ya? Kok Hakim punya berkas sih, kocak? Kita lihat aja ya.
Who knew that Novelette would be so easy to talk to?
Jangan-jangan hilang juga.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been
Orang
involved
udah
in
lama
any
dia.
case, criminal or civil. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was...
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so...
Ahem.
Gitu doang.
Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man.
And what are you trying to say? Miss, are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or no. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him
Dia
from
nggak tahu
throwing his
jadi
life away?
itu,
Why did you
Cok.
just let him die, despised and hated by all?
Dia nggak tahu.
Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your
Iya,
heart
betul.
and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well my apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Ya jadi hakim lo kira gampang? Enggak, Cok. Dia cuma menjalankan tugas biar ada di tengah-tengah gitu. Tapi kalau di negeri Konoha bisa diringankan teman-teman hukuman matinya.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Ya kan?
You're right.
Yo
Now that I
iyalah.
think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder,
What is it? Did you think of something?
yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain? That thought has occurred to us
betul.
before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in...
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure.
Do you
Kita
want to go with me
gantian,
now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
Balas budi ya karena sudah dibantu kemarin. Oke, yuk.
Great,
Let's go. Kita akan pecahkan, cuy. Kenapa bisa ya tiba-tiba hilang? Wis, kok gue di sini, Cok? Taruh lo nih, beda nih. Kita suruh ke bawah, Cok. Kok langsung ke sini sih? Taruh. Kocak sekali, orang mah suruh jalan gitu. Malah suruh apa? Ditelepotin loh, kocak. Ini game gimana sih, kocak banget teman-teman. Biasanya nggak kayak gini, Cuk. Ini jadi terlalu mudah. Nah, ini keren nih. Wow, kita lihat yuk.
Whoa, what a huge
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may
Markas
look like a
Spina
ship,
di
my father was
Rosula.
the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a... Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sea.
Nah, iya ini kenapa tinggal di bawah
But
tanah
now
itu?
that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been...
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base.
Oh, markas asli kami, rumah kami. Bicara dengan Melus di kapal OTW. Anjir, keren-keren ya teman-teman. Ada yang jualan tuh. Insinyur anjir. Insinyur, cok. GG banget ya. Wow. Ariel. Kita ke kapal dulu. Anjir, keren banget teman-teman. Jual ikan. Ambil ikan dulu nggak sih? Kok kol sama potato sih, kocak banget teman-teman. Oke, ayo kita gas ya. Wow. Hello. Ini yang tadi ya?
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important part. You said before that you still had some business at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father... You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was...
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago,
Synth.
something called synth began to gain popularity. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Apa ini? Kok kayak nggak asing?
Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Gimana sih? Wow.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse, and
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind...
Yes, but the enemy was very... Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work. After that night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with... But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was...
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious. But looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time.
Betul.
There were pieces of clothing left at the
Beda
scene.
dong. Yang kemarin kan sengaja dicopot, kalau ini beda. Enggak nyambung.
It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some... But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2... You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my
Udah jelas kan
intuition tells me
kemarin
that we're
kasusnya
on the
itu
right track to figuring it all out.
bukan gara-gara itu, beda.
I'm
Yang jadi
finally
air
headed
itu yang
towards the
terakhir,
truth.
teman-teman. Oh, yang terakhir, iya, yang terakhir. Yang penjaga mau bocorin informasi terus dikutuk.
Jacques was an empathetic man
Yeah, betul.
who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. I think this third person is... On that note, however, even our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extreme. Even though Spina di Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed. There is no need to follow your father's.
If that's indeed what he wished for, was I not the closest person to him? What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? I've never accepted that. Ever. I want to find out the real answer for
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
Waduh.
What?
Oh, jadi dia nyelamatin ini, teman-teman.
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness, and the serial disappearances case caused him great. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve
Ya,
this
anak
long-standing
cewek
conflict.
satu-satunya kok.
But once he passed away, knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other, but as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take...
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look
Ya
sick
nggak
to
tahu
me.
lah sama anaknya sendiri
No
kok.
father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss.
Anjir, kata-katanya si Ahdut, cok, ini cok. Wah, keren banget. Wow.
To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful,
Baginya kalah dalam duel dan dicap sebagai pengkhianat masih lebih baik daripada malu di hadapan putrinya.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could...
I'm afraid
Ya,
you're
iyalah.
not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you
Pedang bukan
was,
payung.
if Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake, I'm sure he'd be extreme.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be... Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted... But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he...
It's the location where Synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the... But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storm?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious
yeah.
and dangerous... There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters.
Orang kita dulu dobrak di
We also have no
Inazuma,
idea what kind
terus
of evidence we may be able to find
disebat
inside.
sama Wanderer
Nor
Raja
what people
Kokit
we
yang
may
di
be able to
Inazuma.
capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open up.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Ya betul.
That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt. Now,
You sound like you've put a lot of thought
Ini
into this,
Amer
Malus.
kita akan membongkar Ciu,
I
teman-teman.
am the butler, after all. I live but to... I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you...
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, if the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed. After several rounds of testing and investigative, the first is Florent.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also, thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming... There's someone else like him, too.
Marcel,
the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current... In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a...
So, they're like a sister organization of...
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the Sint, it's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many active... Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically...
I see. These to think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among...
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from...
Of course. And thank you.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangement.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth.
Anjir, gak sia-sia dia neraktir kita terus kita bantu, Cok. Oke, yuk gas ya. Wow, keren sekali. Ya ada kulus nanti aja lah, bodo amat. Yo, kita gas lagi, Cok. Ini yang keluarga yang dibunuhnya.
It is settled then. Please excuse.
Thank you for arranging everything for us.
Dia benci nggak sama kita? Oh, benci kan?
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize.
Nah, ini benci kan mukanya?
Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand.
You don't understand at all.
Oh, kamu tidak. Iya, dia masih benci, Cok. Kena
I didn't know how
doktrin.
to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly... I know only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry.
Tapi senyum.
I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all... On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have...
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even...
They found out about his...
Papa didn't say that exactly. But Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Jangan balas air susu pakai air tuba.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but...
Oh, ya paham.
Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? Papa always wanted to be a good man. So why did he...
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel...
Yeah, Papa was a...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons.
Wow.
Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so.
Oh.
Thank you
So
for
bijak
everything
anjir.
you've told me. I will definitely find...
Thank you.
Uh,
Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is
Iya,
really
betul.
similar.
You really think so? That's the first time...
Haha, dipuji langsung naik. Oke, yuk kita dapat satu dari korban. Thank you ya. Tembak dulu nggak sih? Next.
Are you okay?
Oh, ke situ teman-teman.
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Ini siapa? Oh, Forest.
Greetings, boss.
Florent.
How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into...
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was right after my partner here put the dots together for me. I feel like... Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the... But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with...
So you also remember 2 gunshots that...
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other... About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis... But hold on. If that's what had happened, he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. And chose instead to prove his... Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. So, I think I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has...
I understand. Then, and if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis thing... Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula, no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect.
Don't worry. I will... You and all our other comrades at the Spina...
Wow. Thank you, Florent. Di atas. Oh, anjir jauh banget, cuk. Wow. Tapi bisa teleport ya. Nggak masalah sih. Oh, ini yang
Hey,
laporannya.
Thierry! It's me!
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you...
Oh, so you've caught news?
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances...
I mean, where Callis did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying... Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these 2 friends of...
Yes. These 2 are... What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lenny's case and my father's...
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people... If you want to go through the original files from your father's case...
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually...
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly... Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and...
Then you think too highly of my abilities. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or care. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and so I can promise you, those mecha were they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now...
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the... Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so...
Oh iya, tadi diserang ya? Oke, nggak masalah sih. Ini aman ya, tinggal satu lagi nih. Ya ampun, jangan jauh-jauh, cok. Gue belum buka teleport, anjir. Di bawah ya? Ya, betul. Marcel. Hello, Marcel.
How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know?
Sure. I will let him know.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in...
Yes, I've never seen any...
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. I also witnessed your marvelous... To beat the Hydro Archon at...
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become...
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I...
Oh, and what makes you...
We were attacked on Arrhenius by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always... If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last mora.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel.
Oh,
But I
Uncle
don't
Marcel.
intend to go into hiding. I'm going to... Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were... Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was hit...
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Wow. Boleh juga nih. Nah ini robot ini, Cok. Kok ada robot ya? Dia kekuatannya dari mana? Yuk kita ngomong dulu.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able...
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice but... If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still... Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering... It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead?
Given everything that's happened since... But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Yang terakhir Marcel ya.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the confrérie, he could also afford a... Still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth?
Yeah, Flora.
But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford...
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be...
Masa kita pilih semua sih?
But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able...
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when...
Who could it be?
Gimana sih? Tinggal 2 doang.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it.
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes.
Anjir, kita malah main tuduh-tuduhan,
We need far more solid proof before we can...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the god?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called
Cilde.
What? Is that...
Yeah,
Kenal lah.
we know him. Maybe.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind...
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything...
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to if the charge against him stands,
Kayaknya
then
ini
it'll
sih.
be next to impossible to get the
Right, because they'll think they've all...
Yeah, and it'll be all...
I understand.
Ya kita...
Huh? Split up?
Ya bisa lah
What do you
kita...
mean? Just as it... Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprits... You're right. This is our best... I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be...
We'll help you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver. when did you two...
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson. In fact, it's our hope that your confidence...
Thank you so much. Then, let's see you then!
Kita bantu Cilde dulu kayaknya.
Now that Navia has set out for Aranias, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Wah, itu ada pengen gelut dulu tuh
According to
teman-teman.
Malus's info,
Ke bawah tanah, Cok, gimana sih?
let's go and try to find the entrance.
Gimana kesananya, Cok? Nggak bisa lah, kocak. Ini banyak puzzle ya, teman-teman. Pengen gua selesain sih. Tapi jauh banget, Cok. Nah, hydro juga. Nggak bisa, Cok. Nah, serius jatuh ke situ? Emang bisa? Oh iya bisa, Cok. Ntar gue buka itu dulu berarti ya. Teleport. Gue lupa kalau bisa nyelam, teman-teman. Sorry ya. Sorry. Wow, apa itu? Emang bisa gelut? Oh bisa, Cok. Kita kemana anjir? Oh.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. An important place like Navia is probably arguing up...
Gas, man.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name, in which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that chick. I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poor. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearance.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got... Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the... But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjection.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be...
Oh. A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, so, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person...
That person is...
Siapa ya? Antara ini, Cok. Gimana, Turun? Hah? Yang kaya atau ini? Antara dua ini, Cok. Tapi ini masih pakai seragam, nggak mungkin, Cok. Kita Marcel dulu ya.
Marcel, the head of confrérie of Cabriere. Huh? What confrérie?
I've heard of them, but...
Anjir,
is this
gua...
going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone isn't it, and if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation.
Nggak boleh gini, teman-teman.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and its members
Ya
of the guards.
gimana, Cok? Gua ribet anjir. Yang nggak bakal tahu lah.
Mr. Marcel, you will not require...
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. To the case of only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for this.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who... Come on. Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and if that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the... When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries.
Ini si Cloren siapa sih anjir? Cloren itu siapa, Cok?
Facts about the case.
Cloren itu siapa anjir?
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even in truth, the third person shot Jacques first and was shot in turn, but after that, the true culprit turned the third person into water. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the... Something's not right.
Oh, kurang cocok.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the... A pile of clothing was found at the scene, but now it is clear that since it was raining that day, the...
Ini gimana ya? Ini aja. Lah terus siapa? Nggak bisa lah, harus. Lah terus siapa? Lah kocak. Nggak bisa semua loh. Ilah.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of a however, in the end he reconsidered. And instead, unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit...
Oh iya,
Realizing
betul.
this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder.
Nah, tapi Marcelnya ini kasihan aja dia tuduh. Karena dia kaya juga.
Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing...
Then, may I ask some questions? And one, do you have the...
I'm afraid...
If you don't have any evidence,
Anjir,
you
ini
should just go home.
penontonnya suka banget anjir, kayak nonton bioskop, cuk. Kayak nonton diorama di teater, cuk. Kayak nonton drama gitu.
Evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of, we should be able to find a map. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little...
Maybe she's scared of
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after...
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had what was certain, however, was that it would paint a...
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected at...
What?
Nah, dia kaget kan.
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Spina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? How can a hollow... Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents, and I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me hard. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot.
So, you mean to say, you...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to...
Kloren.
I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do... But since he entrusted his will to you, Clorand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus...
Yes, I did.
Nah, ini orangnya paling sadis loh, mukanya udah.
As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears...
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the series.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Iya, sama Marcelnya nggak ada hubungannya.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a map. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing two. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone. The culprit could only time their actions so precise. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your
Kayaknya
reasoning,
yang
I still can't
topi
help but
biru
find my
tadi,
used
teman-teman.
to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your...
No need to appeal to pathos.
I
Kayaknya
won't
bukan
try to
Marcel
refute
sih.
your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remove...
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some... Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of
Nah,
murder
ini sorry
from
ya,
a girl
Pak
you
Marcel,
see as
gua
your own
juga nggak
daughter?
tega, Cuk.
But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think, do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna...
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap you. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, Demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings, but aren't you going against all of his wishes and... He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own... Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong...
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Dia tahu.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never...
I was waiting for you to say that.
Nah, ya betul. Oke, kita selidiki dulu, Cok. Yuk, kita kerja keras dulu ya, teman-teman. Kita berenang-berenang, yuk. Mencari tempat Sinte. Udah kayak apa, Cok, Sinte, Cok? What is this? Pengaturan party. Pakai dulu nggak sih? Gue pengen pakai itu, Cok. Gini aja, Cok. Gini aja. Ini kita ganti elemen mastery aja ya, teman-teman. Elemen mastery mana? Waduh, nggak ada, teman-teman. Udah dipakai semua. Ya. Udah ini aja lah. Ya, kita gelut, coy. Hello, motherfucker.
Into the wind.
This way.
So, tip.
Anjir. Nggak tahu ya itu. Yang penting nge-trigger doang sih. Oh iya, kita gini aja teman-teman. Nih. Senjatanya pakai ini. Terus ini kita ganti. Iya kan? Terus artifaknya full elemen mastery, Cok. Bentar, elemen mastery mana? Ini attack bener, elemen mastery nggak ada ya? Ya nggak usah lah, gini aja lah. Gak apa-apa. Ribet, Cok, karena gue record ini, Cok.
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Ini siapa sih orang kaya? Harusnya ada peti lagi sih, teman-teman. Tapi nggak ada ya. Hehe, bodoh amat. Yo, gas. Kita masuk ke dalam, teman-teman. Anjir, markasnya keren ya. Di bawah air, cuy. Oke, santuy. Ada puzzle kah? Harusnya ada sih. Pakai air kah? Hah? Jelek banget ngomong go-nya teman-teman. Oh ke bawah, sip. Yuk gas. Serap, oh serap kemampuan cok. Oh gimana sih? Oh kita serap kemampuan, bodo amat ya. Gas. Gak bisa cok. Oh ini Hamemeha. Oke sip. Paham. Ke atas cuy. Wow, tempat apa ini cok? Oh jadi naik. Siap. Oh yang ke tempat tadi ya, ke atas ya. Jadi kita bisa berenang. Ya oke, paham. Ya tapi kebuka, kocak. Yes. Nice. Wih, bisa loncat cok. Keren anjir loncatnya. Tarar. Kok nggak bisa? Nggak bisa. Nice, kita masuk. And then nothing. Nah.
I see everything.
One with nature.
Anjir enak banget, Cok. Tapi kocak sih, terlalu kocak, Cok. Stay with me. Lah, malah mati. Belum gua ulti. Ke situ ya. Nggak ada apa-apa. Oh, nggak bisa dipecahin ya. Ini pintu. Enggak. Oh, tambah naik. Siap. Oh. Yo, gas. Wow.
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Oh, bisa celuru-celuru, teman-teman. Apa nggak bisa? Oke, yuk kita sudah sampai. Masih sekali lagi ya, teman-teman. Oh enggak, benar. Nice, nothing. Nah, ada peti. Wow. Wish. Terlalu keren anjir. Bangke. Keren banget cuy. Gas nggak sih? Gas dong. Hello motherfucker.
Hey. Our bond is strong.
Into the wind. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. Yeah.
Dia cepet banget sih harusnya, Cok. Langsung mati. Cooldownnya cepet banget, teman-teman. Wow, kok keluar ke hutan sih? Terlalu kocak, teman-teman. Bentar. 1, 2, 3, sip. Enggak. 1, 2.
So as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence. evidence so we can get back.
Cari petunjuk di dalam markas. Siap. What is this?
What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box.
Oh, kita nyari itu ya.
Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different... Huh? You mean the girls from the scene?
Iyalah.
And then they were... And all the boxes of things. These names.
Barang milik orang yang hilang. Wow. Banyak barang remeh-remeh disimpan. Oke. Wih, saya suka gadis-gadis, teman-teman. Kita lihat, periksa bot. Wah, ini botolnya, Cok.
There's so much synth here. And so many bottles of ingredients that
Ya, ini buat
probably
bukti.
just contain the... Mixing in progress. Ready to... Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth. Yep, it's...
Wow. Oh, ini eksperimen. Ih, kok ada api di dalam air?
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for... Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22.
Waduh, ngeri.
Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's... How can someone write something that terrible in such a... You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
Wow.
So that's why he did it. But did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... So that's it? No, that's not it either. If that's the case, in any case...
Yuk, kita gas lagi ke... Dapat 3 ya, udah dapat 3 teman-teman. Ini nggak bisa. Nah, ini apa? Kolam. Nah, ini, Cuk.
That means this is where they make all the synth.
Iya.
And that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating...
Oke, kita dapat kolamnya, cuy. GG nggak tuh? Oke, rak buku. Kok bisa tahu tempat kayak gini ya?
Nothing escapes... Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation. Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it.
Dua-duanya karena mereka nggak percaya.
This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key of the old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides, he can act whenever he wants to. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. Seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
Oke. Kita dapet, cuy.
We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But, yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Nervalet wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything.
Tapi Archonnya kok diem aja sih? Nggak jelas ya Archonnya ya.
That way, even if we bring
Kayak di negeri Konoha, teman-teman. Nggak mau tahu.
Sure thing. Paimon will...
Dia kenapa nggak kayak Nahida gitu loh Archonnya, Cuk? Gimana ya? Jelasin ya. Nggak kayak Nahida, Cok. Nggak bisa ya. Kita kemana ini? Lah. Habis questnya. Maksudnya apa? Saat kembali ke air. Saat semua kembali ke air. Udah kan? Masih kurang petunjuknya. Udah semua, Cok.
You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. We'll find something.
Oke. Oh, kita disuruh nyari lagi.
Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see.
Wow.
Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too.
Wow.
So many! A whole page's worth! But the final name she decided, Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Vinier's grown? Hey!
Iya.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache? Oh, so you...
I'm merely surprised you...
I was...
Nih kayak tadi. Anjir cepat banget.
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the...
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this...
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
Nih. Ini dulu ya.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
Karena sebenarnya Marcel, kamu adalah Vacher. Oh, dia nuduh gitu.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything. After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you.
Oh iya. Benar.
You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past.
So that's it.
Oh iya.
Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been...
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior... Well, Marcel...
Oh, ini...
Do you know where you went... You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how
Ya kalau
we
udah
grew
punya
as
duit kayak gitu sih.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on.
Do you really think I will pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all.
Oh iya betul.
Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice. Your beloved drama. Vignere is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignere. Vignere, please, Vignere. Don't think badly of me.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr.
Tapi dia nggak ngomong ya.
The charges against Mr.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the...
Oke, kita kasih.
The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vache and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignere. During an underwater expedition, Vignere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vache as a result.
Oh iya, ini yang di tempat tadi ya. Tidak sengaja dia nyentuh tapi larut.
Vache learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignere. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vache discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with... After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vache decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vache expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the sea. And just recently, Vache attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vache's machinations. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case. With the The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges.
Wow. Anjir, keren juga ini.
According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Mr. Guilty.
Guards, take Vache away.
Tar dulu, Terfil mau ngasih tahu apa yang diinginkan ceweknya tadi, teman-teman. Yang dibilang tadi.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite...
Yippee! We have Navia bring the... He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's fine. Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolute...
The day our late boss had always hoped for is finally...
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has any...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial...
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side—
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right?
Kasian
Through
Cilde.
evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to
Protokolnya gokil aja.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse, guilty.
Huh?
What?
Hey! That's not funny! What's with this verdict? Is your justice—
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice—
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just—
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. Guards, please take the suspect into custody.
Kasian anjir. Kasian cuk dia. Aduh. Minta disambet dia.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too.
Anjir, keren. Karena hydronya dipakai buat kita ya. Tapi dia nggak bisa lama-lama, Cok, karena ini langsung pingsan. Dia nggak pakai hydro masalahnya. Gak bisa lah. Jangan gitulah. Kasihan, Cok. Guys. Wow. Itu GG pengen gua gacha, Cok, kalau ada, Cok. Bisa menggantikan Cilde, Cok.
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Anjir, ini diem-diem cupu-cupu tapi GG, Cok. Sangar kan ternyata, anjir ya gua gacha, Cok. Berwibawa tapi diem-diem GG, anjir.
Monsieur Novelette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the consent, all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there either.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
Dia nggak jelas ya.
No idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was—
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, and of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely for all shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intent. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did—
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do...
Alright. Even though we feel pretty badly, after all,
Anjir, dia bisa menenangkan harimau yang sedang mengamuk. GG sih. Thank you. Gua gacha loh, serius. Foto dulu, cheers dulu, cowok. Ini karakter GG sih. Wow. GG Mang. Thank you semuanya. Elemennya air ya tadi ya. Hehehe, gas lah. Kayak Al-Haytham sih.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey, traveler!
Loh, kok dia bebas?
What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease!
No, wait! I just want to ask the traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Yoi.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all
ini baru
records of
bisa.
that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants?
This request, is it worth...
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just as very well? I will...
Your Honor,
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any...
In that case, I shall leave...
Thank you!
Yo, ini Hakim Agungnya GG anjir. Yuk, kita kasih paham cuy. Gila, seru banget sih ini, keren. Keren bet pokoknya. Yo. Nih di sini cuy. Jadi oceanit anjir. Kena air doang. Kayaknya yang di Mondstadt kena air itu semua, teman-teman.
You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well?
Vache.
Nah.
Yes, that's it. So you heard it.
Vinier, it's me,
Vache.
I'm here. Where are you, Vinier? I'm coming for you. I'm fine.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey!
Vinier, is that you? It's me,
Nah,
Vache.
ya betul.
Vinier.
Vache. Why did you come? Didn't I say?
Anjir nangis yuk gua.
You look a lot older than I remember.
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for all this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without...
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been, if not for you.
Oh, ini sengaja biar dia benci ya.
Been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache.
You... Wait, you are not Vignier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignier. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignier.
Why? But then, where is
She doesn't want to see you anymore. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do but did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she
malah kena kutukan. Gua kira happy ending, Cuk, malah.
A heartless murderer. The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignier's, she has had nothing but pure.
Iyalah. Oh iya, betul.
No! Yeah! She can't hate me. Let me see her.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Anjir, kasihan, Cuk. Banyak lo korbannya, Cuk.
Vache.
Ya, Vaser kayaknya mau benci. Iya, benar. Anjir, gila ini, Cuk. Oh, ternyata benci ya, bukan mencari, Cuk. Benci, Cuk. Gila lah. Jadi dia bukan nyari, Cuk, emang benci. Anjir, ngeri, Cuk.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's
Shopping
really been a
apa,
long time
Cuk?
since we've been able to relax.
Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days.
Oh, now that I believe.
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days.
It's just been one thing after the other. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my this time, though. Everyone input.
So his name's definitely been cleared now.
It's been the dearest wish of the...
Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness. Secret Tales of the Yellow Robe. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the series.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish is final.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you book.
Now that's another thing to look forward to.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clarissa.
Oh, are you two on better terms?
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clarande gave testimony on my. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward.
Ya walaupun gak ada duit dia ngeraktir, Cuk. Keren sih.
Anyway, now that the case is finally... Oh, actually, There's still...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended. And on top of that, just how much people...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the...
And in that case, everyone, let's...
Yeah, you're right.
Oke, keren. Keren anjir, fuck man.
This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Yang Kloren kayaknya minta maaf dia. Bukan.
Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Dia jadi hakim susah cuy, serius.
I was trying to say
Ketika
there's
dia
no
nggak
need
bersalah
for you
itu
to
anjir.
apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown, but still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize.
In that case, I will stop apologizing.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotion. In any case, what?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head.
Nah, ya betul.
There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him.
Iya, betul.
And in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher than...
Keadilan lebih tinggi daripada kehidupan.
So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epicles indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work.
I'm sorry for... So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but
Tapi hangat di
pretty
dalamnya.
thoughtful on the
Aku
inside,
jadi
huh?
ingat Silver,
reminds me
salah
of
satu
Silver.
anggota.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not...
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
So Navia and Neuvillette seem... Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done.
Oke. Wow.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Huh? Oh no. Paimon hopes... Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often...
Wow. Bicara dengan keren anjir ini.
Oh, it's you two.
We ran into Navia on this...
I see.
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine. And
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as...
truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and there used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life.
So it really was where everything began.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case.
So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, Suddenly, to be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be... Is there anything else you'd like to add? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the...
That's right! It was Linny that told us back...
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we... Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is...
Is there anything else you'd... My apologies. My investigation has still not reached... However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not...
But you also said you thought...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it... Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So when Linny told us that he heard a human voice...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just... Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, if we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else?
Nah, dia bagus ya. Diajak basa-basi langsung to the point.
Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter and had no reason to appear on the stage of the... Is there anything else?
Nggak ada.
Very well. It was my honor. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful...
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice...
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Wow, selesai ya teman-teman. Wow, keren. Dapat konstelasi, Cuk. Oke, habis ya. Dapat quest dunia. Oke, teman-teman, ada konstelasi juga. Dapat 1 ya. Oke, gue Reza Purnomo. Sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya. See you, goodbye. Keren 2 jam.